I bought this flood damaged Range Rover Sport as the first of many cars attempting to rebuild them until I can afford a supercar. When it arrived, it looks completely fine. But once the carpets were peeled back and showed just how much water was in this thing, I knew I was in for a big challenge. Range Rovers aren't exactly known for how good they are electrically. So far, we've managed to get the carpets and the interior completely dry and tackle some quite serious electrical problems from the flooding. But I'm still far from a completely finished car. We have to dive into the throttle body damage, I have to repair some of the interior pieces, put it all back into the car, and I don't know how to do that because it was all jumbled when I got it. Then we have to attempt to drive it and see whether or not the powertrain is actually okay. If we have warning lights that come up after that, we might be in for a very hefty bill. We're gonna start off by getting the front carpets back in. While we're plugging back in the subwoofer that sits under the driver's seat, if you want to support the channel and get us closer to the goal of achieving a supercar, all you have to do is subscribe, like, and comment on the video, because any YouTube revenue made from this challenge counts towards the goal. Plug the sub in. With the sub plugged in, we're gonna attach the heating and cooling for the rear seats. Then we're gonna try and get this driver's carpet back in successfully. And once that's all in, get the carpet in and laid down, making sure to pull the connectors through the carpet for the driver's seat. Then we're gonna put the two plugs in, and passenger side's gonna be a lot harder because I don't have room on the other side of the garage. And just like the driver's side, gotta pop in that air duct for the rear heating and cooling. Once we get the carpet into the passenger side, we can go ahead and tighten everything down. But I realized there was a bit of trim on the left that was stopping me. So I unbolted the hood latch and just pulled that piece back. Once it was out, I could tuck the carpet under, push it down, and put the piece back on and the hood latch back on. It's like a sauna in there. Like, there's a lot of cross breeze coming through here, and getting out of the car is just, it's nice because I get a breather. But when you're like in the bottom, just in there, and you're trying to get right in there, oh my gosh, like look how sweaty I am just for putting those two carpets in. It's pretty horrendous. Back carpets next, and keep going. Ooh. When I was getting the back carpet in, I was sort of just kicking everything down. It wasn't sitting in place great, and then I realized that on both of the sides, a trim piece needed to come off so I could tuck the carpet underneath it. Once I'd done that, I gave everything a bit of a vacuum just to clean things up because there was a lot of sand and things there. All right, and that is the carpets all in. I did vacuum here and there, just where the seats are going to sit on top of, because it's going to be hard to reach there later. I mean, it was a little bit hard to actually get the carpet to sit where it's meant to be, but aside from that, it's fine. Now we're going to put the seats in. We're going to start with the driver's seat, and this is sort of where I don't 100% know how it goes together. So, or if we have all the bolts, that's the other thing. So yeah. And the seats are super heavy. Oh God. Gotta connect under the seat. There is some connectors under here. 1, 2, and 3. Pull the seat into where it should be sitting roughly. Now we're going to screw in the bottom of the seat belt with that bolt in there into the bottom of the seat down here and connect the seat belt connector. Once we tighten down the seat belt for the driver's seat and give it a good ugga-dugga, we're then going to plug it in and then go ahead and screw in both of the bolts that are for the front of the driver's seat. Then we get to put in the passenger seat. These things are really heavy because they're just full of electronics, heated seats, motors, and the whole thing really. Plug all the electrical connectors in, same as we did on the driver's seat. Bolt in the front while leaning over everything. That's a horrible way to tighten a bolt. Then we're going to tighten down the passenger seat belt to the seat. This one's a little bit different. It doesn't have that pre-tensioner, same as the driver's seat. I'm still quite a bit off having the back of the car in. As you can see, we're still pretty empty, but the front is fully in. Well, almost fully in. We still got some of the side pieces and, you know, the trims up here to put in, but this makes me feel a lot better to see the inside of a car I can actually sit in. I can't wait to drive this thing. I'm actually excited to to drive this thing. I've never had an SUV before, and a Range Rover as the first SUV is going to be pretty cool. So far, those are all the things that I've done or taken out myself. We still have the rear seats under there to put back in the car. I'm not super sure how they went in to begin with, and I'm not all that game to give it a shot. In saying that, there's only one way to get on with it, and that's to get on with it. So let's get on with it. So we went ahead and tightened up the back seat belts all into place, then went back to my pile of interior pieces and grabbed the bench seat for the back. This is 2 out of the 3 rear seats. Popped it in. This is actually the most heavy seat. I'm not sure why. I think maybe it's just heavy steel or something. I really would have thought the driver and passenger seat were going to be heavier, but whatever. Doing this really actually hurt my back. But then I spotted something in the seat.
Oh God! Jesus! Oh, I hate splitters! Jazz!
Once the real man took care of that spider, I went ahead and started bolting in the rear seat. One of the 4 bolts was actually really hard to get to. I ended up putting a hex bit on top of it and then using a 10mm spanner to tighten it down because I couldn't get the ratchet on top of it. Pretty inventive, I know. What can I say? I'm a genius. After plugging in the seat, I grabbed the other one, but I had some trouble with this. I was trying to get the base of it, the part you actually sit on, off of the metal frame, but as you can see, it took me quite a while. And then just to show you exactly how mangled this thing is, like, I've literally bent the seat frame upwards and the backside is just completely pushed out like that. I'll flatten that down before putting this back together, but I would say that that's the actual reason, because that was ridiculously hard. I would say that's the actual reason that this back has been like ripped off like that. I reckon they were probably trying to get access to the bolts at the back because they couldn't get that center bit off. That was like, this one came off like super easy. This one was just absolutely ridiculous. That was crazy. So using some grips, I flattened out the damage that I made, and hopefully this means it's going to be a bit easier to get off next time. Then I popped the seat in, found the right bolts to go in, and went ahead tightening them down. These bolts were a lot easier to reach than the other ones. Every single one of these I could reach with the ratchet, so way better. After plugging in the seat connector, this is pretty much done. Just in there. And check that out. We actually have back seats in the car. Again, still pretty sandy, if you can see that. So I will quickly vacuum all that up, but damn, this thing is actually starting to look like a real car. And I'm getting excited. I don't know if I should get too excited, but I am getting excited. This thing has sat without an interior for a few weeks. The night I got this car, I ripped the interior out, so the fact that it's going back in is a really big deal to me. Very, very, very thankful. After giving everything another vacuum, someone's clearly used this to go to the beach. I put the bench seat in and we still have the damage on this back seat. So we're gonna have to tackle that, but for tonight, I'm pretty happy. I have messed up just a little bit because I put the carpets in the car and this goes under the carpet. So what I'm gonna try and do is pull the carpet up here and see if I can slide this piece underneath like that. That feels better. Now that that is taken care of, we've got our throttle body that we've got from the wreckers. This one is cracked just here. First one I got was this one, but as you can see, either side, that silver pipe is an EGR valve. Essentially what an EGR valve does is it plumbs the exhaust gases back in the intake for emissions reasons. This here is the EGR valve going into the side here, but on this side you can see no EGR valve. So that one is no good. But as you'll see on this one, on the other side, there is none. So we're gonna put that one in. When you're putting a new throttle body in one of these, you can't just plug and play it. You actually have to calibrate it using the special scan tool that we bought specifically for this build. So already that is coming in handy. Okay, so I got the old one off. I didn't know, I don't have the proper tool to take this hose clamp off, so I just unbolted it from down there. I am a little bit concerned that I'm not gonna be able to get the new one in though. We'll see. And yeah, you can see it's just completely cracked off. Now, when I took it off, you can see underneath, because it was cracked about here, it's just absolutely sprayed gunk everywhere. So I'm gonna give that a bit of a clean, chuck the new one in, and then we're gonna do the calibration with the oil towel. I ended up cleaning everything up with a bit of degreaser and a towel. Then after getting the throttle body in, it was a little bit difficult, and I did have to bend that EGR pipe to get it into shape a little bit. Probably the guy at the Wreckers has had the same issue as me, where can't get the clip up, so he's just unbolted it down there and bent it a little bit to get it off. You can see there, I'm struggling with one particular bolt. That's the only bolt that holds this throttle body in place. So, and I think I might have even found the reason why that one had cracked. See, there's obviously a lot of pressure that goes through this throttle body, and the only place that this is secured down is through a bolt that goes through here. It's a big bolt like this, and all it does is sits in there and screws down and tightens it. Problem is, do you see that black stuff on this bolt? Yeah, well, that is the thread on the other side of this, completely stripped, and it actually bolts into the engine, which is really frustrating because that means I can't bolt the throttle body down at all. And I think with the throttle body unbolted like it was, because like it wasn't even tightened down, I just pulled this straight out. I think that has, because there's so much pressure in here, as soon as you rev the engine, more pressure comes in, and then it's cracked just there. I think that's what's happened. Problem is that there's no real way for me to fix that. I think the only way to do it would be a tap and die, but I don't have one, and I also don't have something that can replace this that's this long. So, and this is a damn long bolt too. So I went down to Bunnings and got a couple different options of bolts. When I put this one in and started twisting it, I was a little bit concerned because it was very apparent that the thread on the other side is mangled up, and trying to turn this bolt was smooth at first, but then I couldn't tighten it any more by hand. So I'm definitely a bit worried about cross threading it. But after getting a socket on it and saying my prayers, I went ahead and tightened it down as tight as it would go. Okay, bolt is in. Honestly, that's quite good. I thought it was gonna be a hell of a lot worse than that. So that is best case scenario. Let's tighten everything else up. Now with the battery back together, we can plug in the auto. So we're going to go into hot functions. Now we're going into the hot functions menu to find the throttle body calibration. So it's going to ask a bunch of questions, and we're just going to do everything it says. But as you can see here, when it asks to turn on the car, this is what it sounded like. Okay, start the engine. It took quite a while to get going. I'm still hoping that this is because the car hasn't really run for a while despite the battery being charged. There was a few more steps on the calibration, but once it was all done, I took a quick note of the airbag light. No airbag light on anymore. And then went on to scan the car for fault codes as well to see if there was going to be any powertrain faults. Now this is the big one that we're looking for, because if there's any electrical faults in the modules on the inside relating to the powertrain, we might be in some big trouble. For now though, the car is idling fine, and I'm going to leave it idling to try and let it sort everything out by itself. When the car was done scanning the fault codes, it did come back with 3, but are they 3 we're worried about? All 3 of those fault codes are not the ones that I'm worried about, so let's go for a bit of a drive and see if it's all right. Okay, air conditioning works. We've got the auto in the back just in case anything happens, but we've aired up the suspension. I don't think we're gonna get back in the driveway. Oh, I'm a bit nervous. not gonna lie. Drives pretty good. I can hear the brakes, the rust coming off the brakes. It's something. But largely, the car was fine. There was no lights on the dashboard, and the start-stop system came on after a while, so the battery was obviously charged enough, and then the next time I went to start it, it started up first hit. It wasn't doing that long crank like you saw. It does sound like I can hear some sort of air noise coming from the left-hand side, but it feels pretty good, right? All right, let's get back home and scan it again with the Autel and see if anything's wrong. But when I did get home, all right, I do smell something burning under here. I don't know. Oh, there's the smoke. Did you see that? There you go. Never get too excited. I have no idea what's wrong with it. Is that where? I can't see it. Well, it probably hasn't run in a while either. But it did smell like burning. But doing this stuff, you can't stay down for too long. I know I'm going to be able to fix it. It's just going to take some time for me to work it out. Look, for right now, I'm going to take the win. That's the attitude. If you ever find yourself stuck, please just keep going. Over the past year, I've gotten way more accomplished than I ever thought I would. And it's all because I just kept going. All in all, this Range Rover has impressed me, to say the least. All I've done really is swap the throttle body, dry out the interior, and put a new amp in it, and it's driving. At the very least, it's driving. Genuinely, this is so far best case scenario. It runs, it drives, it's got audio. We still have to take care of, there is a bunch of mold in the taillights just here and on the other side. Let's get the car in and then scan it for fault code, see if there's anything on the powertrain. We're just going to use the Autel to scan this one more time, see if there's any fault codes. Hopefully there is none. Okay, chassis control module and powertrain control module. Chassis control module. Trouble codes. Oh no. Intermittent temperature sensor. I'm not entirely sure which temperature sensor this is. I'll have to look into that, but for now, let's move over to the powertrain control module. Charge air cooler, electric coolant pump performance. This actually makes a bit of sense. Where the smoke was coming from, I actually noticed an electric coolant pump. And when I got the car, it looked like the coolant was a bit watered down. So potentially the assessor's taken the charge coolers off, put them back on, and then just topped up the coolant and not bled the system. Meaning, potentially I've been running that coolant pump dry, burning the motor out. It might be good, it might be cooked. We'll find out. I'm still gonna take this as a win. As a win. So it looks like we've been faced with a few new fault codes that I got no idea what they are. I'm gonna have a look into them, see if they're common trouble, common problems on these things. If you don't know, I'm actually rebuilding cars until I get a supercar. If you want to be part of that, if you want to help out, any YouTube revenue that I make from this journey counts towards the goal. So all you gotta do is like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. I'll see you next time.